Okay, Carthage must be destroyed. We are trying something a little different here today. We're going to do a bit of a painting vlog, if you will. And I'm just going to talk about stuff and show off what I'm painting. I see some other YouTubers do this kind of stuff where they do a bit of painting, talk about what they're working on, and I thought, hey, why not try it out? Actually, it was my wife's suggestion. She said I should try it out, so okay, let's do it. So I've been working on Samnites and Romans and stuff like that, Punic War stuff. I'm just showing you guys here let's get it on the camera. Got the camera at an angle here. You might see my shadow pop up a lot. It's got to be propped up at an angle and vertically because I can't do it horizontally at this table. But you can see here I've got some Samnites on the go. You might have seen them in the Hales. These are walkthrough or the Clash of Spears walkthrough. These are Victrix Samnites I've done up. I put them on 40mm bases for convenience of moving them around on the battlefield. Their base there is still drying, and then I'll finish them up. Then I've got a second one here that I've been working on. Let's see if you can see that. And I just put random shields on them, kind of make them individualistic. I kind of messed up this guy's positioning. The guy on the right's supposed to be the leader of the unit, but he didn't quite fit in on this small base, so I switched him around. Ultimately, I don't care where the leader sits as long as he's at the front, and I think he's cool. He's actually a Roman body, and he's not a Samnite body. I just have so many of those extra Roman commander bodies from the Victrix Roman frames, so I throw them into like other Italian groups from time to time. But yeah, this is what I'm currently finishing up, just 8 guys to add to a unit for a total of 16. I am now going to start painting other Samnites here. I'll just show you a couple here. I got 4 more of these guys to paint, and they'll also go on those 40mm bases. And they're just like, they're kind of a mixture of different sets. There's some Roman pieces in there. There's some Carthaginian box set pieces in there, and of course the Samnite boxes in there. And I mixed up the armor and non-armored guys just to kind of make them all individualistic. You can't really see them all that well, I think, with a black primer on there, but it just gives you an idea of what I'm currently going to paint here as I talk. I also have a single Roman I need to do to finish a unit, so of course I'm just doing one. He's going to finish up the division that I have. He's the last guy to do, and then he's completed a division. I'm also going to start this guy here. This is an Afghan Tribesman, and it's basically a sword arm, a shield, and a head from Perry Miniatures, glued onto a gripping beast, Arabian, I don't know how to call it, the Armies of Islam body. So it's not the right kind of body. I kind of like Frankenstein built a single guy with extra bits from the Perry kit. So it's not really something you'd see, I think, they're wearing in Afghanistan. But just for testing colors and starting them out, I think it's okay. So I'm going to paint him first here. I'm going to go to very basic color scheme for these guys. And that is another side project I want to do. I want to do the second Anglo-Afghan War. I'm going to do a bunch of Afghan tribesmen from Perry. And I have a buddy who wants to do Jacob's rifle. So this is going to be the British Indian division involved in those wars there. So I got all my paint stuff here and my wet palette ready. I just fixed the brush here by super gluing it. The top part here broke off, and it's kind of a bad thing to have your paintbrush fall apart as you're painting. So hopefully this glue holds, doesn't get into the bristles. And let's paint and chat here. Let's see if I can get this on camera properly. I want to do mostly whites on these guys. So I'm going to try and use Zandri dust. I want that kind of like dusty bone mix. There's a recipe with Zandri dust, Shapti bone, and I think it's Screaming Skull that I want to do for some of them for an off-white. I'm also going to do the Pallid Witch, Rakarth, and Flayed One Flesh, I think, on these guys. So I'm going to have kind of like a mixture of 2 whites, kind of like a bleached bone white on them, on their clothes, as well as a I think it's more like a yellowish white, a pallid witch white, if you will, using Citadel's colors. For his skin, I'm not really sure how I'm gonna paint his skin, because I'm very, you know, when I paint like my Romans and stuff, I just give them a very typical tanned looking, I call it the tan Citadel look, where it's Bugman's glow washed, and then you just work up with lighter colors of skin. But these Afghan warriors, from pictures and stuff I've seen, they don't exactly have like very light skin. So, and they're not, I can't say they're dark skinned either, kind of like a mix, I suppose. So I'm gonna try and use Bugman's Glow, wash it so it goes darker, and then layer again with Bugman's Glow. And I think that'll give me a better effect for what I'm going for. And then I'd highlight after with something like, you know, just a lighter up version of Bugman's Glow. So yeah, I just like to do it on a test figure before I get really heavy into a project, because I don't know how it's going to turn out. I have no idea if it's going to look good. And if he turns out not looking good, then I just try it on a different guy or try something else, right? So, I guess with these kind of videos, I just want to do a little discussion, talk about projects, see what everyone's up to. If people like it, they can comment. If they don't like it, they can also comment, or, you know, we can have some cool inner comment discussions going. Let's see, Bugman's Glow here actually turns out quite bright, but I think when I darken it, it'll look a lot better. But, you know, I was talking to someone today about painting, a friend of mine, and we were talking about how to paint and what to paint when. I have a big issue where I'm interested in so many historical eras, and I can never focus on one army for very long. I can come back and do it and have no issue painting them, but when it comes to like continuously doing a single project, I can't really get that focus down. I'm just so interested by so many models, and I'm sure lots of people are similar to how I think. And it's kind of dangerous because say you're painting a soldier or an army, and you totally say, let's say Dark Ages, and you totally want to do a Viking army, and you're getting into it hardcore. But then you see some later medieval guys come out, and you're just like, hey, I'm going to get those. And then you kind of drop your Viking project and you invest money or time into this other project. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but for me, if I do that, that original project takes way longer than it should. And I'm not a fast painter, so I'm just curious what everyone thinks about that. Like, do you guys sit down and do you focus on one big project until it's done? Or are you like me and start, you know, breaking up into different miniature projects? I've been working on Rome and Punic Wars for a very long time. I want to say 3 to 4 years, and I'm not anywhere near done. It's going to be like a few years of an investment here. So, and it's, you know, and if you do one period and you take so long to do one period, when other people want to do different war games, because not everyone wants to paint the same thing. You know, one guy has an interest in medievals, another guy wants to do the biblical age, someone wants to do like ultra modern, whatever they have, whatever, or rather whatever they want to do. Nobody matches their interests, I find, anyway, for myself. I mean, you could talk to your friends, and if you find someone who's interested in the same era, that's awesome. You can work on a similar project together. But for me personally, I find everyone's all over the place where I'm at in the world. So, I don't know, do you just stick to the project you love, or do you guys like to kind of go all over the place like I do? Now, I do have a system. I kind of like that it's kind of a yellowish color now, but when I get to the final highlights later, it'll really pop up. Is that a hair? No, it's just some weird gripping beast. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. There's like a line that's cut through his robe in the back. It's kind of weird, but and it's on a black primer, so I'm gonna have to do a couple coats. That's okay though. I kind of like how it darkens when it's finished. For me, I found that I keep one major project in mind, and my major project right now is the Punic Wars. So I look at doing the Romans, and then I do some Samnites, and then I don't know if I'm gonna go back to Romans again when the Samnites are done, or if I'm gonna do a Carthaginian division. It's probably better to do Romans, but I'm just thinking that for that is my major big project, and to keep myself kind of not turned off by the project, because I find if I keep painting the same thing every session, I kind of lose some interest. That's why I get so distracted by things. It's almost like ADHD in a way. But if I have multiple little projects, one or two other ones, and I can come back to that big one, I find I do much better. Sometimes I do some fantasy guys here and there. Then, you know, I'll do like maybe 4 to 8 Romans or 4 to 8 Samnites, and then I'll come back and do them again after I do another project. Yeah, it's a really light coat. Gonna have to have double coat here. It's a disadvantage for my dog is scratching. It's kind of a disadvantage when you paint on a black primer. If you're using really light colors, you're gonna have to do a few coats. But that's why I do fairly thin coats, and then I'll come back later when it's dried up and keep building up on it. But yeah, what do you guys do? You want to talk about that and say, hey, I do one major project. What do you guys do? So, I think these Afghan guys are going to be really quick to paint. Consider I'm not a fast painter, but I think for me anyway, these will take no time at all to paint, because I'm basically just doing a couple colors here. Throw in some blue sometimes, or red in the turbans or the wraps, whatever they're wearing, and then you know, the sashes, do some reds and blues, and just keep them simple colors. Do some off-whites, maybe put some of them in browns. And yeah, just make a simple, quick and nice looking force to face off in some late colonial warfare. I can already go into some spots here, it's dried. But I'm gonna let this dry. It's a very, very thin coat all over, but let it dry and coat again. I think I'm gonna do his head wrapping here with Rakarth flesh, just so it's a little different. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you guys like to do, what you guys like to prepare when you paint. Are you going to do a huge massive project and finish it, or are you going to be like me, have a big project in mind, but then try and work on multiple smaller projects along the way? I'll just finish this turban up here. I don't think turban's the right word here. I don't really know. I'm just painting a cool looking miniature from Perry. Perry does such an awesome job with her. Oh, I got some on his face, that's okay. Perry does such an awesome job with her models. I'm always so impressed with what I have had from Perry. There are some times when I get some metal models that need some extra love and care. Some of their older metal models have a lot of flash and a lot of stuff you really have to clean, but the plastics are really awesome. And I have a box of these guys that'll come in at some point to the videos, and do an unboxing of these guys too, without the weird gripping beast dude. So you can see here, I wasn't very careful. I got a bunch of paint on his eye, but that's, you know, in the first stages, whatever. I'll just paint over it when it dries. So yeah, let me know what you guys do with painting, how you paint, what's the best way, and if people like this kind of content, these quick talks, I'll keep doing them maybe once a week or so. I won't make them longer than 15 minutes. Just put a topic out there and we can discuss some things, what people feel, what people think. So thanks for watching. The next video is going to be more of the Clash of Spears walkthrough, and I got some good responses on there. I think people like that for showing off the new skirmish games. And after that, I'll probably do some solo games with Clash of Spears, because I don't think anyone in my area, unfortunately, is interested in Clash of Spears yet. I have to get them into it, hopefully. And if they do end up liking that game, well, then we can do more battle reports. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. So thanks for watching this vlog, and we will see you guys on the next video. Have a good one.